Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of LearnWithIB. Today's episode will be on pre-colonial political systems in Nigeria. Now, when we talk about pre-colonial political systems in Nigeria, what do we mean by this? This literally means how we were ruled or how we were governed before the colonial masters came, before then. And I'll start by taking the Hausa strict Fulani colonial system. Now, initially, in the northern part of where we know as Nigeria today, we used to have the Hausas. However, the Fulanis came around and they were led by Usman Dan Fodio. They waged a war called Jihad, known as the Holy War, in the early 19th century, 1804 to be precise. So the war was between 1804 and 1815. They waged a war. Initially, it was said to be a religious war, but it was later also a political war. So they took over the ruling system of the Hausas, and that's why in today's world, whenever we talk about political systems in Nigeria, we say Hausa stroke Fulani, not just Hausa, but Hausa stroke Fulani. Now, Usman Fodio led the Jihad, led the Holy War, and won. And before now, the Hausas used to be known as Abbeys. The Abbeys. They used to be known as Abbeys. So, Usman Fodio fought that war, won, and later brought about the two Sokoto and Gwandu, where he had representatives. So, he brought about the Caliphate Emirate system. And this emirates were ruled by emirs. And these emirs had some officials who assist them in carrying out the duties, the ruling duties and all. So we have the waziri, that happens to be the prime minister and also the head of all officials, the waziri, the prime minister. Then we also have the waziri, the prime minister. We also have the Madawaki, also known as the Madaki, who happens to be the head of the army. We also have the Galadima, that happens to be the head of the officer in charge of the capital. Officer in charge of the capital. We also have the Dogari. The Dogari being the head of police. We have the Mahaji. The Mahaji being the head of treasury. We also have the Serikin Father. The Serikin Father being the head of palace workers. We also have the Serikin Ruwa being the river fishing official. We also have the Serikin Power being the head of all butchers. And we also have the Akimi. The Akimi being the district head. And there was the Jangali, the tax collected on cattle. The tax collected on cattle. Now, all of this, the Waziri, the Malawaki, the Galadima, the Dogari, the Mahaji, the Serikin Father, the Serikin Ruwa, the Serikin Power, the Akimi, the Jangali, sometimes in questions, sometimes examiners will give a question and ask for the meaning of probably the Waziri or maybe even the Madawaki. So answer if you asked that the Madawaki represents dash, that would be the head of the army. So that being said, again, the main reason why this particular fiscal system is discussed in the government syllabus is basically because we're trying to, check, do what we call compare and contrast. Compare the modern system of government or the then system of government to this modern system of government. And so if you probably come across any question that says or asks that we can liken the Hausa structural political systems to what modern system of government, our answer would be it's either you say a centralized system and also you say absolute monarchy. Do not forget that monarchy is a system of government where we have kings, queens, emperors, empresses, then in charge. So absolute monarchy means wherever it is the monarch goes, no one can check or ask them, why have you done this? Why have you done that? Now that being said, let's quickly move to the Oyo Empire, which is the Yoruba system of government. The Yoruba system of government talks on the Oyo Empire, or the side to bring about the Oyo Empire, talk about the Oyo Empire, basically because the Oyo Empire was a vast empire, and which had the Alaafin as the supreme leader. The Alaafin was the supreme leader of the Oyo Empire, and Oyo Empire then had influence even up to the kingdom of Dahomey, which is known as the Republic of Benin today. So the Alaafin was the supreme head, and he also had the Oyomesis, the 7 hereditary kingmakers, the Oyomesis, and they had the Basoro being their head. Basoro being the head of the Oyomesis, they are the 7 hereditary kingmakers. They also have the Ogboni Secret Society. The Ogboni Secret Society. Then also there is the Aremo. Now, please take note of this. The Aremo was the eldest son of the Alaafin, or in Yoruba land, Aremo is known to be the eldest son of the king. However, in the Yoruba system of government, the Aremo could only assist the father in carrying out whatever royal duties. The Aremo cannot succeed the father after the demise of the father. So that being said, and also Eva asked, and also we also have the Are of the Kakanfo, who happens to be the head of army. Are or no Kakanfo, the head of the army. And there is something peculiar about this Are and Kakanfo. If the Are and Kakanfo goes to any war and loses, the Are and Kakanfo is expected to commit suicide, not to return back to the empire. He is expected to kill himself. Now that being said, this particular Oyo Empire, or the European system of government, can be likened to the modern system of government, which is what we call constitutional monarchy. Constitutional monarchy. And why is this so? It's basically so because there are checks and balances. The Alaafin didn't have. He was the supreme leader, the ultimate leader. However, he didn't have supreme powers. His powers, he has limitations. He had limitations, rather. Right. So basically, because of this, he couldn't do some certain things. Whenever the Alaafin does the abominable thing or the forbidden act, he is presented the Igaiwa, which according to history, if it is presented this, that means the Alaafin is to go to his ancestors, to go to meet his ancestors. So basically, this Igaiwa used to be prepared between the Oyomesis and the Ogboni Society. The Oyomesis come in contact, they meet with the Ogboni Secret Society, and the both work on the Igaiwa. It is usually presented to the Alaafin, who will later go to meet his ancestors. Now, so we said we can liken this to what we call constitutional monarchy. Constitutional monarchy, one modern system of government, constitutional monarchy. So whenever you're asked, the Kakanfo is the head of the army, the Aremo, the eldest son of the king, or the Alaafin, the Basoro is the head of the Oyomesis. Now, moving quickly to the Igbo system of government. The Igbo system of government is said to be an acephalous system of government. Acephalous. And what does the term acephalous mean? Acephalous literally means without head or headless. What this literally means is no one is seen as the supreme leader or the supreme ruler. No one is seen as the supreme leader or the supreme ruler. So everyone in the community, comes together to discuss how the community can be moved forward, or to discuss any issue concerning the community. There is no one seen to be head in quotes. And we can liken the Igbo system of government to what we call direct democracy today. Direct democracy. Basically because everyone had a say in a way to everyone had a say in government their community. So we have the Ozo title. We also have the fourth title, which is usually the title being bestowed upon those who call the Council of Elders. The Council of Elders. And Council of Elders is a council where you have all the elders from each family coming together to discuss about whatever issue that is affecting the community. And there is always a head, someone who kinds of convenes the meeting, who kinds of oversee the affairs of the Council of Elders, who is known as your para. The Igbo system of government also has the age grade system, new mothers, and the like. And there's no title used to be those. It's a title bestowed upon those who are wealthy and those who are influential people in the village. So they come together to discuss how they can move the village forward. So basically, our take home today is, if you're asked what we can liken the Oyo Empire or the Yoruba system of government to what modern system of government, our answer will be constitutional monarchy. And for the Hausa state Fulani system of government, we can liken it to what we call absolute monarchy. And for the Igbos, we can liken it to what we call direct democracy. And whenever you come across a question that probably talks on acephalous, it literally means without head or headless. Whenever you also ask about the Waziri, the Madawaki, the Galadima, the Bugali, the Sirkin Power, Sirkin Ruwa, Sirkin Father, you give their minutes. So it's as simple as that. So thanks so much for watching. God bless you.